Today's speaker. Today's speaker is Mr. Thomas Baker. He grew up with the Edgar Cayce readings. He's a student of the Course in Miracles. He served as a Roman Catholic priest and as a seminary professor until 1990. I've been reading your bio. His most outstanding work, he wrote, is with love, forgiveness, and living gracefully. Tom is well known at our church, and his presentations are always filled with humor, warmth, depth, and to me, most importantly, an insight. Tom has a way of just touching your soul when he speaks. He combines a lifetime of study of the Edgar Cayce readings and the Course in Miracles, and he mixes it with some Christian theology and some spirituality. He's been ordained at our church, proud to call him a fellow pastor, and he often returns to the Donkey Church and blesses us with his insight. A warm fellowship welcome to Tom Baker. Thank you, Tom.
Well, have you ever noticed that we're always giving one another therapy? It's the modern way of giving advice. Most people begin their therapy by telling you to love yourself. We're fond of telling people that they can't love another until they love themselves. So we say, love yourself, damn it. And we leave it at that, as if we have uttered a great and obvious truth that people just seem to ignore. But nobody tells you how to love yourself exactly. You can stand in front of the mirror and hug yourself and say things like, gee, Tom, you were so amazing. How did you get to be so great? Luck and good genes, I guess. This, by the way, doesn't work. Or you can congratulate yourself on being so much more good-looking, intelligent, and patriotic than other people. Good luck with that one. It will simply make you proud and arrogant. Or to use the term that's popular today, narcissistic. My go-to used to be that I would imagine my own memorial service in which I am dead and watching from the Spirit as other people one by one praised me after my death. They would say things like, Tom was so generous, he was so kind, such a great guy, we sure will miss him. I would always end up in tears, missing myself. How absurd is that? The trouble goes deeper than a few compliments can cure. The trouble is in our beliefs about ourselves. 3 of these beliefs wreak havoc on our happiness. The first belief is very simple. It says something is wrong with me. Something deep down in myself is wrong. I remember as a priest, people would say, God is not finished with me yet. I'm still trying. I'm still improving. Well, this comes from the popular belief that we're always needing to improve ourselves. Now, that would be okay if we didn't take it so seriously. You could always improve your appearance a little bit. You can improve your memory by learning more words. And you can improve your personality by polishing up your communication skills, usually by listening more. But your appearance and your memory and your personality are not really you. You are the soul that came here to make your little part of the world a better place than you found it. And even if you have not succeeded in improving your little patch of earth, you as you is still precious. Nothing is wrong with you as you. Now, your shallow little ego will protest. You're a failure. You're a cold little bitch. A self-congratulating little jerk. No one, including yourself, could love you just the way you are. Well, God objects. Loving yourself before improvements is how you have the courage and motivation to make improvements. And what is entailed in that love? It is delighting in the self that had the courage to come here in the first place, to attempt and embody the purposes of the soul. That's why love comes first. God celebrates the attempt and loves you whether or not you succeed in doing what you planned, just like you love a child even when he or she fails. If the parent insists on convincing the child that something is wrong with them, then the child becomes a worried person. So don't do that to yourself, or you will become a worried person. Nothing is wrong with you. Don't worry. Be happy. The next belief is that you are not loved. Nobody really loves me. My parents put up with me, my spouse tolerates me, my children humor me, my friends like me as long as I agree with them, but nobody really loves me. Sounds like a watertight case against yourself. But look at the trouble people went to get you here. Your guides and spiritual counselors who helped you select a body and a life to teach you the lessons you came here to learn. The lessons of trust and honesty, tenderness and gentleness, of joy and open-mindedness, the lessons of empathy and care and faithfulness and perseverance. The flawed parents who received you, the parent or grandparent or teacher or coach or mentor who believed in you, the one who believes in you still, the child who trusted you, the friend who saw something in you and you in them. And God, of course, has loved you. He sat with you when you ran out of hope and felt helpless and alone. Not loved? Please. In the Catholic Church, we used to talk about the communion of saints. These wonderful historical figures who loved you still. I wrote a poem about this, about visiting a woman in the hospital who I brought a yellow rose to. Here's the poem. On the way to the hospital, I had the urge to buy a flower for the woman I was visiting. At the florist, yellow roses were on sale. So I bought one for 25 cents. When I came into her room, Mary Ellen gasped and started to cry and said, "Father, thank you, God. Thank you, the little flower. I don't have cancer." I didn't know that yellow roses appear when St. Teresa answers a prayer. Seeing my confusion, Mary Ellen explained about yellow roses and asked, "Where are your tears, Father? Where is your faith?" I was caught by surprise, holding a rose and my composure too tightly. Later I learned that Mary Ellen was free of cancer. Sometimes it was that simple. Make it that simple. And remember, when you die and cross over, odds are you will get a standing ovation for a life well lived or even a life well endured. All of it is honored. The final thought we have that gets us into terrible trouble is the thought that we are alone. We all have the fear of being alone. Eating lunch alone as an insecure teenager in high school, or an old person without family or friends reading their book in a restaurant. Deep down in our soul consciousness, we have the fear that God has left us alone in the universe. That's why Jesus reminded his disciples that he was with them always until the end of the age. He is with us too. He is the great Bodhisattva who will stay with us until the last of us has found a sense of inner peace. There's a book that expresses this as well as anything I've ever read. Its title is God Calling. I don't know if you've ever heard of this book before, but for 35 years, I've been asking people what got them through the hardest times of their lives, especially when they felt alone. Many, many times, the person in front of me would pull out God Calling from their purse or backpack or memory. This got me through, they say. This book came about when two women got together to pray, but it didn't work. One of the women went home and took out a pen and a piece of paper and prayed that Jesus would speak through her. The result was this book. It will let you know every day of the year that you are not alone. And let's think for a moment about the word alone. It's really the word or the phrase all one, if you add one more L. Let that L be love. So alone becomes all one. So remember, nothing is wrong with you. You are loved, and you never are alone. Then go out and share a meal with someone and prove it. That's what Jesus has been doing with us in one way or another for over 2,000 years. Thank you.